All right, welcome to Real Talk. I am your host, Paul Britton, and we are doing on our annual Oscar previews show. Normally, I probably squeeze in about like three different episodes about the Oscars. Um, I'd come in and talk about like, oh, these are the ones I think are going to get nominated before the nominations are released, and talk about the nominations after the nominations are announced, and then leading up to the Oscars, I'd kind of do what I'm about to do now. This year I've just been doing movie reviews, but this week, I intended to go see a couple movies, but the weekend just got away from me and I didn't get to any. Ultimately, also, I wasn't super I wasn't inspired. I was not inspired by any of the movies that came out. So I called an audible. I wasn't planning necessarily to do an Oscars preview, but it made sense. So here I am, and I'm doing an Oscars preview, and I hope you enjoy it. I think it's going to be fun. I just I have the Oscars website open, and I'm just literally just going to go straight down the order in which they present categories, except for when they get to Best Picture. It's like right in the middle. I'm going to skip to the end, and then I'll go scroll back up. All right. So right. Oh, first, let me give a general sort of feeling on how I kind of feel like the year of movies went. So and just a general vibe on the Oscars. So this past year, my favorite movie, and the movie I thought was the best movie, was One Battle After Another. It's not often that my favorite movie is also the movie that I felt like was the best movie, but this year I just, I just feel like it was the most complete, perfect movie, like, just by far. And well, not by far. I don't want to say by far, because it wasn't by far. For me, it was my favorite. To me, it felt like the best. Right on its heels is Sinners. I mean, Sinners was just an absolute refreshing achievement in filmmaking. And if somebody wanted to come in and say, "Oh, Sinners was better than One Battle After Another," I'm not gonna, get mad at you about it. If somebody wants to come in and say either of those movies wasn't good, I'm gonna get mad about it. I'm gonna say, obviously, you didn't watch movies, or don't watch movies, or don't understand movies, or your opinions are weird, and I really don't care about your opinions. Maybe not that drastic, but I would definitely say your opinions are weird, because those were the two best movies of the year. For me, coming in thirds, so third is probably Hamnet. But now we're getting to movies where it's like, okay, yeah, it's a really good movie, but there are flaws. The Sinners and One Battle After Another are just perfectly flawless movies. Whereas once we chime in with Hamnet, I feel like there are things going on in that movie that there were opportunities were missed. My fourth favorite movie was The Life of Chuck, which was nominated for a grand total of 0 movies. And then my fifth favorite movie is Begonia, which actually has a whole shit ton of nominations as well. And if you and if that and so 1 and 2 for me are almost interchangeable, and then 3 through 5 for me are almost interchangeable. And so I think that's going to be reflected in my feelings on as I go through and kind of look at what's nominated, which one do I want to see win, and which one do I think is going to win. So that's what we're going to do. So actor in a leading role, we've got Timothy Chalamet for Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio, One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. So here, okay, I just need to get right off the bat, Marty Supreme is a great movie. I there's just, I hope it wins nothing. I hope it gets The Irishman treatment, because I hate the character of Marty Supreme so much that admittedly, completely illogically, I want Marty to be disappointed. I like something has to go wrong for Marty at some point, and since the movie didn't see fit to ever have anything go wrong for Marty, and had got away with being a piece of shit to everybody in his life, including the people who were trying to help his life. Um, eh, this is. I hope the Oscar night is where he gets his comeuppance. Again, doesn't make any sense. But that this is funny. Um, is he Marty McFly's Wario? Yes. Marty Supreme is absolutely Marty McFly's Wario, and to that end, I don't want it to win anything. I'm rooting for Michael B. Jordan here. This is a toss up. You know, Michael B. Jordan, Leonardo DiCaprio. For me, I just think Michael B. Jordan had so much heavy lifting in Sinners that it's, Leonardo DiCaprio does an amazing job, but ultimately, Michael B. Jordan is just like, he had to subtly play two completely different but related characters. It's just fantastic. I honestly think that Ethan Hawke is going to win. I just feel like it's one of those people really like Blue Moon. It's a really good movie. It's a really likable movie, and I feel like Ethan Hawke plays a role that is likable, and I just think I just kind of feel like people are gonna reward that. I could Chalamet might win. I'm not putting any positivity, Marty Supreme positivity into the universe. I'm withholding it all. Again, completely irrational. I get it. It's a perfectly wonderful movie. If somebody said to me it was my favorite movie of the year, I would quibble and I would argue, but I wouldn't think they're crazy. But if they said, and also Marty, the character Marty was just so likable, I'd say, fuck you. All right. Actor in a supporting role. We got Benicio del Toro in One Battle After Another, as well as Sean Penn. We've got Jacob Elordi in Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo in Sinners, and Stellan Skarsgård in Sentimental Value. This is tough. All right. I look, Benicio del Toro. I want Benicio del Toro to win. This isn't even, honestly, it's not even close. And I love Delroy Lindo, and um, I really do. And like there's a small part of me that really, really wants Delroy Lindo to win, but there's a huge part of me that Benicio del Toro is one of those actors where he's just been with me for so long in my life that I I just, I've been on the Benicio del Toro train since Usual Suspects, and so that's going to be my guy. Um, Stellan Skarsgård seems to be getting all, a lot of the precursor awards, and I guess I think he's going to win, although this is probably one of the more wide open categories. But I'm gonna say my guess is Stellan Skarsgård. Actress in a leading role: Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs I Could Kick You, Song Sung Blue, Kate Hudson, Renee Rinsfei for Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone for Begonia. Okay, this is Jessie Buckley for Wanting to End Well. This one is one of those where it's like, and by the way, Rose Byrne, If I Had Legs I Could Kick You, I think is the only major nominated movie that I haven't seen yet, although it's on HBO Plus now, so I will finally catch it. I'm going to catch it before the Oscars for sure. But look, I'm just such a Jessie Buckley fan. I'm not even going to be to pretend to be uh you know unbiased here. I'm 100 and totally percent biased, and Jessie Buckley is just in my forever, like, just people who know me, she's my new Meg Ryan. And that's all you need to know. Actress in a supporting role: Ellie Fanning for Sentimental Value, Inga Ipsdottir Lilius for Sentimental Value, Amy Madigan for Weapons, Wumni Musaku for Sinners, and Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. Now we're in. Oh, geez, I don't know what to do. Okay, both supporting actor categories are tough to call. I'm what do I want? I just pick Sinners or One Battle. I'll take either one. Both of those performances are just so they're fantastic performances in the two best movies, and so that's where I'm gonna gravitate to. That being said, that like if it were like a pie chart, it would be like 40% for Wumni, 40% for Tiana, and then like 20%. It is in my heart for Amy Madigan in Weapons, and that is just like career. You are so good in Uncle Buck that I want an Oscar for you as a makeup Oscar for Uncle Buck. And yeah, like that doesn't make sense to most people, but that's okay. I honestly think Amy Madigan's gonna win. Like, it's the kind of role that the Oscars are like, oh, aren't I weird and fun for voting for this one? And yeah, that's that's where I'm going. That I think Amy Madigan will win, and I'll be happy about it. But ultimately, I'll be maybe a smidge happier if either Sinners or One Battle get it. Okay, animated feature film. I have seen 3 of the 5 here. I've seen Ilio, K-pop Demon Hunters, and Zootopia 2. I have not seen Arco or Little Emily or The Character of Rain. Arco, I could have seen a couple weeks ago, but it was the week where I saw 5 movies, and like it just, it was just like I don't know when I would ever be able to see this. Like it just fell out of my like these fucking people need to figure out like you put Arco out this past weekend. I am all over that shit. 100%. But you put these movies out in theaters for 1 week up against like 6 other movies that I want to see, and there's only so much I can do in my life. I'm rooting for Zootopia 2. Why? Because I'm a fucking sycophant for Disney, unabashed. That movie just absolutely was, just wonderful. I loved everything about it. What I think will win is K-pop Demon Hunters, and I won't even be remotely disappointed about that. And I'll be super thrilled for it, and that's fine by me. I no like my preference for Zootopia is not enough to blind me to the fact that K-pop Demon Hunters is awesome. I'm skipping animated short, haven't seen any of those. Casting. Okay, this is the first time ever we got Oscars history. This is the first time ever they've given out a casting Oscar, and so this is really exciting. It's Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Secret Agent, and Sinners. The idea that the Secret Agent is on here is fucking 100% insane, weird to me. Like, that I don't get at fucking all. Okay, I just don't get it, but that's fine, whatever. This one it's the other 4 Hamnet, I'm like, okay, whatever. Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners. If Marty Supreme were to win one award, and I wouldn't get too mad about it, it's this one, because the fucking acting is just out of the park, and everybody just seems really perfect for their roles, and it really comes together. But ultimately, I'm not putting that out there in the universe, so I'm rooting for either One Battle After Another or Sinners. I think either One Battle After Another or Sinners is going to win. I'm gonna go with Sinners. Yeah, that's for who I want and what I think will. It just the cast just the the one thing about One Battle After Another is there's a lot of casting in there that pulls from Paul Thomas Anderson's past, and sure you can say the same thing about Coogler and Sinners, but I just kind of feel like people are going to look at this cast of Sinners and be like, this is this is what this is it. Cinematography: Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Okay, this one is interesting. And actually, my preferences, this is one where Sinners is going to drop out of my preferences, and my preferences are One Battle After Another and Train Dreams. Train Dreams, just because it's a really beautiful movie, and the cinematography I like, and this is going to sound so stupid, but I love it when the cinematography is just, let's show awesome shit about nature. And like Train Dreams just really does such a great job of showing the enormity of nature and the impossibly minuscule nature of man. And One Battle After Another, just because just everything is framed so perfectly. I think Sinners is going to win, and that's fine by me. That's fine. Like perfectly fine. But I would really like to see One Battle After Another get it, or and I'd be thrilled for Train Dreams if it won. Costume design: Avatar, Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, or Sinners. This one I'm just gonna say Sinners, because again, I'm literally just One Battle After Another Sinners for anything that they're up for. I don't understand how you could do Avatar, Fire and Ash, since they don't actually make a lot of costumes. But that's okay. I do like that movie. Um, I, I guess I think Hamnet will win, just because it's there isn't one in here. Like, I guess maybe Frankenstein, maybe, where it's like, oh, we are a period piece and it's huge, but there isn't like anything like Elizabeth, or something like that. So I'm gonna guess Hamnet's gonna win, but I could be wrong. It could go to Sinners. All right, here we go. Wow, this came up quick. Directing is Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. All right, Paul Thomas Anderson is one of my two favorite directors alive right now, with Wes Anderson being number one. And then Ryan Coogler and Joachim Trier are like absolutely my guys, and I'll see anything they make. And, top 10, just absolute top 10. And probably possibly top 5 for both of them. But I'm rooting for my guy. I'm rooting for Paul Thomas Anderson. I do think he'll win. And for reasons that I'll get to later, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Coogler wins. And I'll have a bigger conversation about this later. Next on categories that matter, we've got film editing, which is F1, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. This is interesting. Man, this is interesting. I don't know where I want to go with this, and I don't know what I think will. I'm marking out Sentimental Value. I'm not sure. This is where I wish Train Dreams were on, because like the editing, like the way the story is told for Train Dreams is really, really interesting. And that's typically something that you want to reward editing for. Like Life of Chuck, I would be like, yeah, let's do that. Begonia, I would you put Begonia in here. Begonia is the one that I'm rooting for. You put Life of Chuck in here. I'm rooting for Life of Chuck. ultimately, I suppose I would root for Sinners a little over One Battle After Another. Again, we're splitting hairs, and like it's such a cop out, but whatever. Okay, we've got international feature, The Secret Agent. It was just an accident. Sentimental value, Surat, and the voice of Hind Rajab. I um I'm going sentimental value. That was my favorite. I've only seen 3 of these. I think I would prefer Surat if I had had a chance to see it, which I haven't. Um, and so yeah, uh, yeah, sir. I'm going to say I'm rooting for sentimental value, and I think sentimental value will win. Uh, 3 months ago, I said it's definitely gonna be. It was just an accident, but it's not getting any. It's not winning anything right now. So that's where I'm leaning. Um, by the way, Secret Agent was fine. I liked it. But I'm Still Here was so much better, and it's basically just like cribbing a bunch of it. Secret Agent relies heavily on the idea that everybody's already seen I'm Still Here, it feels like. All right. Makeup and hairstyling, we got Frankenstein, Kuho, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister. This is an interesting one because I've only seen 3 of the movies. I could have seen Kuho this past weekend. And ultimately, like, I was ready to go, and then it was Sunday, and I'm like, it's a 3-hour movie. It's like, I can't do this. I can't go and sit through something for 3.5 hours because it's 3.5 hours because they put 20 minutes of trailers, and I I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I look, people, no more 3-hour movies, no more. Just stop. I don't want to hear it. Stop. Like, unless it's something like, where it's like I'm super heavily invested, like Paul Thomas Anderson can make a 3-hour movie. The Odyssey can be 3 hours when it comes out. I'm making exceptions. Not not for something just to make sure I've seen everything that's makeup and hairstyling nominated. Anyway, I'm going Franken. I'm rooting for Sinners because I've already established I'm rooting for Sinners or One Battle After Another in just about anything that I can. But ultimately, I think Frankenstein's going to win that one. All right, music, original score. Okay, Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Sinners. Whew, this is so fucking impossible. Knockout Frankenstein, knockout Hamlet. Okay. Begonia, One Battle After Another, Sinners. I'm rooting for Begonia here just because it's my only chance to really root for Begonia. It's not going to win. So ultimately, when they announce either Johnny Greenwood for One Battle After Another, or Ludwig Göransson, who's won, I think, the past 2 years for Sinners, I'll be perfectly happy. But I'm rooting for Begonia just to mix it up. I literally, that's it. It's just like, look, as a unabashed socialist, I want to spread the wealth as much as humanly possible. I'm rooting for Begonia, but if it's One Battle, I think it's going to be. Ultimately, I think it's going to be Sinners. I kind of, if I had a second one, I'm rooting for it's One Battle After Another, just because the dude who did Sinners just won 2 in a row. But and Johnny Greenwood, I needs to win one at some point, but it's probably going to be Sinners. And honestly, I think the music is such an important part of Sinners that it's almost like the score is like, okay, we get it, it's fantastic. Whereas One Battle After Another, the score is just subtly fantastic. So I don't know. I'm okay. Original song, Garbage from Diane Warren. It's not literally called Garbage, but it's Diane Warren. She's nominated every year. She's never going to win. She should have won for I Don't Want to Miss a Thing for Armageddon. We need to go back in time and fix that because poor fucking Diane Warren. The madness has to stop, and we stop it by inventing a time machine and giving her the Oscar for Armageddon. Golden K-pop Demon Hunters, I Lied to You from Sinners, Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verde, whatever, and Train Dreams from Train Dreams. Look, it's Golden K-pop, both what I want and will win. Although I would be I'd be really excited if Sinners won, because the use of that song is just amazing. Production design: Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners. This is one where I am going to say Hamnet. I am rooting for Hamnet. The production design in that movie is just impeccable. I'm afraid that Frankenstein will win, but not to put, to not put that out there. I'll say my second I think will win would be Sinners. My backup on that, but I think Frankenstein will win. I'm rooting for Hamnet. Sound: F1, I think will win. Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Surratt. Visual effects: Avatar, Fire and Ash, I think will win. I'm rooting to win. F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bots, Sinners. Writing: adapted screenplay: Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Train Dreams. Okay. I love the screenplay categories. Okay. I cannot stress. We're going to, in fact, just for, yeah. Okay. They're probably like my two favorite categories are the two screenplay categories, and then cinematography, and then best picture. Like that. For me, movies are all about the story. And it doesn't have to be a narrative story. Like, you can go non-narrative on me, and I'm totally cool with that. You can go super weird, Begonia, and I'm totally cool with that. I'm rooting for Begonia here. And it's not just because of my socialist need to spread the wealth, but because this was such it accomplishes what it needs to do through the screenplay so well. The entire point of the movie is to literally fuck with the audience and wrong foot you through the entire movie, so you do not know if Emma Stone is in fact an alien or not. And they effectively wrong foot you through the entire fucking movie to where you do not know if Emma Stone is an alien or not. You are equally convinced 100% that she is not, and then you are equally convinced that 100% she is throughout the movie at different times. And you care about everybody, which is almost impossible, to different levels at different points. So, like, the more you think she's an alien, the more you care about Jesse Plemons. The more you think she's not an alien, the more you care about Emma Stone, even though she's a CEO and she's rich. Getting me to care about somebody who's a CEO and rich, that's why I'm rooting for Begonia. There's no fucking way it wins. Ultimately, I think this is going to go to Hamnet, but I would be super thrilled if it went to One Battle After Another. And I'd be cool with Train Dreams too. Writing: original screenplay, we've got Blue Moon, and we've got It Was Just an Accident, and we've got Marty Supreme, and we've got Sentimental Value, and we've got Sinners. I'm rooting for Sinners, and I think Sinners will win. There's been enough precursor wins for Sinners on this one to kind of make it feel like it's going to happen, and that's the way it's going to go. I could see Sentimental Value winning. And that's a super effective script, so I'm down with that. Marty Supreme, God, I hope not. You cannot have somebody as shitty as Marty Supreme and not have 1 second of comeuppance. You cannot give Marty Supreme a happy ending. You can't. You can't. Blue Moon is my problem with Blue Moon is that it's too made up and it's too light. Like, ultimately, it doesn't say enough about anything, and everything it says something about is made up. And like I have a problem with taking real people and real moments in time and just like 100% fictionalizing it. I got a problem with that. But I'd be okay if Blue Boo won. It's okay. It's okay. But ultimately, I'm big time stand on Sinners on that one. Okay, now Best Picture. This is the 10 movies to go through. Okay, we got Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Okay. I'm just gonna go through really quick. Begonia doesn't have a chance. It's just too weird. This isn't like with with Yorgos Lanthimos's Poor Things, where it was weird, but like it was just wonderful. This was just fucking flat out weird, and I don't think it has a chance. F1, it's just it's happy to be here. Congrats. Frankenstein. I I think people just really like Guillermo del Toro, and so they're nominating Frankenstein. Ultimately, Frankenstein doesn't really work for the entirety of the movie, and I would be kind of shocked. Hamnet has a chance. Hamnet, the last 10 minutes of Hamnet are as good a 10 minutes of film I've seen ever. Just ever. And might have been the last 15 minutes of Hamlet. But you can't have a movie that's just based on the last 15 minutes of your movie and say you're the best picture winner. But it's so good that I think people would just look at it like, look, the last fucking 15 minutes of Hamlet were as effective a filmmaking exercise as it's ever been done. And so, yeah, I'm going to give it to that. I get it. Marty Supreme, I'm moving on. One Battle After Another. Okay. I'm going to skip One Battle After Another for a moment. The Secret Agent, again, I'm Still Here was a better movie, had a better chance when it was nominated. Secret Agent, I don't see any chance. Sentimental Value, I mean, ultimately, I don't think so. It's too adult. Like, honestly, like I don't think Sentimental Value is going to be anybody's one. I also don't think it's going to be. Remember, ranked votings for this, the way U.S. elections should be done. Ranked voting for this, so people are doing. Here's my first. Here's my second. Here's my third. Here's my fourth. Blah blah blah. So on and so forth. I don't think Sentimental Values will be anybody's first. I don't think it'll be anybody's second. It'll be some people's third. It'll fall between basically third and seventh for everybody, but it's just not going to have remotely enough ones to qualify. And then Train Dreams, it's too small. Ultimately, I think Train Dreams is too small. If I were okay, so that leaves the likely winners are One Battle After Another and Sinners. I'm just going to start with what I think will win. And what I think will win is One Battle After Another. I just Paul Thomas Anderson has been such a mainstay in peak US cinema. And I feel like people look at Ryan Coogler and say he still has his best in front of him, whereas people see One Battle After Another. It's like, okay, it's time. It's time to give it to him. Ryan Coogler should have won for Black Panther. That's a whole other thing. But like, so I think what will win is One Battle After Another. Ultimately, yes, I have said One Battle After Another is my favorite movie of the year, with a slight edge over Sinners. And I would rather Sinners win. Personally, I would rather Sinners win. I think it, and strictly because I think it's a better story. I think Sinners winning for me is a better story than One Battle After Another winning, even though I really want Paul Thomas Anderson to win. And ultimately, that's why if we go back up to director, I'm rooting for Paul Thomas Anderson, and I think he will win. And I think Paul Thomas Anderson will win because best picture, best director almost always go hand in hand. But I could see a split. And let me do my ranked voting. I'm going to start with 10. So 10 is Marty Supreme, not because I think it's the worst of the 10 movies, but because I just really don't want it to win anything. Um, this is a movie that I gave 4 stars. Okay, or 4 tacos when I reviewed it. I just fucking hate Marty Supreme. I hate Marty. I don't hate Marty Supreme. I hate Marty. So fuck Marty. Um, the Marty Supreme gets my 10. Secret Agent gets my 8. Frankenstein gets or Secret Agent gets my 9. Frankenstein gets my 8. F1 gets my 7. Train Dreams get no F yeah, F1 gets my 7. Dreams gets my 6. Uh did I do Frankenstein? Fuck. Okay. Starting over again. Marty Supreme. Frankenstein. Uh F1. Train Dreams. Sentimental Value. Oh, Secret. Fuck it. I can't remember. I've lost my place. I should have wrote it down. I thought I would be able to do it last minute. I fucked up. Number 1, Sinners. Number 2, One Battle After Another. That's what my ballot would look like. I fucked the whole thing up. You fucked it up. They're gonna kill that poor girl. All right. That's it. That's my Oscars preview. That was fun. I really enjoyed doing that. That was just an exercise for one. The Oscars are in 3 weeks. It's on the 13th. I'm gonna be in fucking Las Vegas. So yeah, I guess I don't know what I'm gonna do because I'm still gonna be wanting to be out and like doing Las Vegas things with Linus. We have tickets to do a thing at 8:00 in Las Vegas, so I'm gonna miss the fucking Oscars. And fuck, what am I gonna do? So there we are. Uh, it's on Hulu. I guess maybe I'll watch it like as much as I can on Hulu. Anyway, hey, this is Real to Real Talk. That was your Oscar preview. We'll be back again next week with our standard movie reviews. And yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for coming by. Go see movies, even though I